We're going back to the well and into one of the most unique and hyped up locations in Toronto right now. I'm Rajiv from The Missing Piece, and this is Where to Go TO, the show where I go in depth on all the most interesting locations in the Greater Toronto Area. And today we'll be talking about Arcadia Earth. Arcadia Earth is an immersive art exhibit focusing on bringing messages of environmental protection. When looking into going to the well, this was something that appeared on every single TikTok or Instagram post I saw. In this video, I'll go through the history of Arcadia Earth, a walkthrough of the exhibit, and my personal experience to determine if it's actually worth visiting. And trust me, I have some mixed feelings about this one. On their website, Arcadia Earth is described as a multi-sensory journey that combines creative art installations and exciting technology to inspire visitors to take action towards a sustainable future. The art exhibit features multiple rooms that are distinct in their design and approach to display the environmental message. There is also a large augmented reality feature using their app, which I'll get into a little bit more later. Arcadia Earth was founded by experiential designer Valentino Vittori through his passion to raise awareness of environmental issues through mediums never done before. In September of 2019, the first Arcadia Earth opened in New York, later expanding to cities around the world, namely Las Vegas and Saudi Arabia, before finally opening in the Well, Toronto on December 1st, 2023. Opening alongside the Well Shopping Center, Arcadia Earth almost instantly became extremely popular, still bringing in many guests. This was the most talked about place at the Well even when I was researching for last video, with so many TikToks, reviews, and vlogs talking about the experience. Arcadia Earth is located on the terrace level of the well, and of course the well is located between Front Street and Wellington Street, near Spadina. It's a 17,000 square foot exhibit featuring multiple themed rooms, each with their own visuals and interactive elements. These rooms are set up in a linear order where you walk from one to the other. They share some design elements though, most being dark rooms with neon lighting, projection mapping, mirror illusions, and sculptures. Going into the exhibit, the first room is based around ocean life. It features projections and screens along the walls displaying animated videos of various ocean creatures. This is also where we are introduced to the AR app. The app uses a camera to scan symbols on the walls and floor like QR codes. Scanning these makes 3D animated objects appear on your screen, overlaid with the background. These 3D objects are interactable and usually display the messaging of that certain room. This first one, being based on ocean life, has the message of how it's being damaged by pollution. The next room is what they call the 360 movie. The room features a massive display of screens along the walls. There is a looping video featuring multiple habitats and the animals living there. As the animals appear, there are little fact pop-ups to explain the animal species, etc. There is no use of the AR app in this room. Although it was interesting to see the different animals, I thought the visuals weren't the best since it wasn't real footage and it was CG animation. I feel like this takes away from the realism that I thought they were going for. Next is one of the more interesting rooms. This room features real recycled computers, keyboards, etc., relaying the message of how humans damage the world and electronic waste. There's also a good photo op here, since it features a giant throne made of computer parts, which everyone was just taking turns taking pictures on. This was actually created by renowned Canadian multimedia artist Benjamin Van Wong, addressing the growing issue of electronic waste. Moving on, we see the first of a couple rooms that are entirely blank, featuring projected visuals on every wall and the floor. These rooms feature abstract visuals and iconography, driving the message of environmental protection even more. There are 3 to 4 of these rooms spread across the exhibit. Although they are somewhat repetitive, I think they provide some really cool visuals and were some of my favorite parts. We then get to see some more sculpture installations. This red one featuring the dangers of overfishing was really one of my favorites. I like that the entire room was covered in red light, it really made it stand out. Another room heavily featured different smells released through these diffuser type things. It was also entirely made of paper, which was really cool to see, and another showcase of how great the physical art actually is in Arcadia Earth. At this point, the AR app was there, but I found that the actual sculptures were much more interesting, but I'll get into that a little bit later. Now, let's get into my personal experience and if it's worth visiting. Starting with some of the pros, I enjoyed the unique concept because it's something that I'd never seen before. Not a traditional art gallery or museum, and the concept itself was definitely great, especially as something to include at a place like the Well. The way it combined art and the messaging was also something that I liked. I could tell that the art is clearly advocating for the issue without it being too heavy-handed or tacked on. It definitely makes you think at the end. As I mentioned in the breakdown, I liked how many of the rooms were designed in terms of the art. The lighting and colors look amazing on camera, and you can tell that there was effort put into the design. The creativity is undeniable, and I could definitely see that this is for a great cause. Arcadia Earth even works with environmental aid foundations like the WFF, the World Wildlife Fund. But unfortunately, there are a couple cons that I need to talk about. First of all, the AR app completely takes away from the experience more than adding onto it. Although it seemed like a cool concept, the app itself didn't work in my experience. The animations were laggy, the interactivity was slow, and sometimes the app crashed, and it was heating up my phone like crazy. To be honest, much of the rooms are way better experiences without it anyways, as the actual physical sculptures were visually interesting enough. Another thing was that the rooms were pretty crowded. I might be a little petty here because it was harder to get clear footage with all the people, but it does kind of break the immersion at times. I think this is pretty easy to avoid if you just go during off times like weekdays when it wouldn't be busy anywhere. Lastly, the rooms were surprisingly small and the experience itself was somewhat short, with around 7 rooms in total. We finished pretty quickly depending on how fast you move on from room to room, but we went at a reasonable pace and it took less than an hour. My honest final take is that it was cool for the first time, but probably not something I would go back to. I'd say it might be fun to go if you already like art exhibits and want something new to experience, but it might be a skip if you like something more action-packed. Arcadia Earth is definitely interesting, but not necessarily worth the visit. Go early and during less busy times, and don't rely too much on the app, and it could be a great experience. Comment down below if you guys visited Arcadia Earth before, and if there are any other Toronto attractions you would like me to talk about. Thanks so much for watching, remember to like, subscribe, and share, and check out the other videos on this channel. But that's it for me, so see you guys later.